everything our brave veterans did to protect us so that we can have this celebration today and every day. We have a group of veterans and cadets from West Point who are going to read sections of the Declaration of Independence.
The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When, in the course of human event, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with these certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter and abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such forms
as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate the governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evidences a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these conflicts. Such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present king of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having the direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. To prove this, let the facts be submitted to a candid court.
These are the facts. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his accession. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for their combination of harsh districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant in the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. That's all represented in the House. See, and they put this very fast. Right, he used cause others to be elected by the legislature. A rule of violations for to the default law for their exercise in the state remaining exposed to all dangers of nation.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their mitigations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to the laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislature. He has affected to render the military independent of superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and acknowledged by our laws giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us by seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures, declaring themselves invested power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
Has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations which inevitably connections and pursuits. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consequency. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them, as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends.
Finally, the declaration. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be free and independent states. That they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. And that as free and independent states, they have the full power to levy war, to conclude peace, to contract alliances, establish commerce, to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do, and for the support of this declaration with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. God bless America.
I welcome you on behalf of the town of Bethel to this. It's great to see familiar faces each year. I've often said it says a lot about a nation how they treat their veterans. And today we're doing it right. I want to say one thing about doing the declaration today, and I appreciate everybody's patience because I know it's cold and it was long. I guess I could say that in the military, we all took our oaths to the Constitution of the United States. I think reading that declaration is a reminder that that's what we fought for. So as you go on today, thank your veterans. We appreciate you being here. We'll go on the ceremony.
May the blessing of our faith in God rest and remain upon all of his people in every land and every region. May our God meet in mercy all who seek him. May our God comfort all who suffer and mourn. May our God hasten his rule and give you and all these people peace forever.